Hi, my name is Brittany Hall, and I just wanted to start this YouTube video and channel to tell my mental health story. And if I just help one other person, it'll all be worth it. And I'm not doing this to get people's compliments or pity or anything like that. Like, I really just want to help other people. And I also will be talking about my faith because that is very, very important to me and has been a big part of my whole journey. So I am a Christian, and if that doesn't resonate with you, then go ahead and skip this video. And I also want to give you a trigger warning that I will be talking about suicidal thoughts, and in other videos I will be talking about sexual abuse and some past trauma that has, I believe, led to my bipolar. So, with that being said, I would love to tell you about my story. So, in 2013, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1. I really never had any signs of mental illness before then. And just out of nowhere, I had a manic episode. I do believe that it was a spiritual attack. I know what I did to open doors that I shouldn't have opened. I did a past life, supposedly, regression on myself, and I was doing Reiki at the time, and I thought that was what I was like. I don't know. I was just confused and looking for answers in all the wrong places. And immediately after I did the past life regression is when I went into my manic episode. And I'll be talking more about that first experience in other videos, but I just want to talk about the overall story in this video. And in certain episodes, like one episode I drove halfway off a bridge, and to this day I don't know what the bridge looked like, and I know that I thought it was a driveway, and the only reason I even know it was a bridge is because the tow truck driver told my mom that it was hard to get the car off the bridge, and he doesn't know how I didn't end up in the water. And all I can say, it was God's angels, like, protecting me from dying, because that's the only explanation I have. And other instances where I should have died, I drove 120 miles an hour on a high-speed cop chase into a 25-mile-an-hour zone, blacked out. Like, I don't remember doing it. The only reason I know that I did it is because the cop told my mom that that's what happened. I also, like, laid down in the middle of the road, like, not because I was suicidal, but because that's just what I thought I should do. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't even explain. Like, this is not something normal Brittany would ever do. Like, so to me, that was the spirits, like, leading me to do things that I don't do. So I have many other stories and things, because this has been 10 years and I've had 12 episodes. Every episode has led to a hospitalization. Every hospitalization has been traumatic and hard, and that's another reason why I want to share my story, because like, if you feel you need help, try to get help before you have to go to a hospital, because those places are not conducive to healing, honestly. I don't know what they think they're trying to do, but they're not healing anybody. And like, I am on meds. I've gone off meds multiple times. I know that's supposedly a sign of bipolar, but the first couple times I went off meds, I just thought I didn't need them and that they were just making stuff up. I've been off meds because I thought I was healed by Jesus, and again, I thought I didn't need them. And so I'm on meds now, and while I do think Jesus can heal me, and maybe one day I won't need meds, I don't think I should ever go off meds again, because it's just too big of a risk. So that's for me personally. I'm on Latuda, and hydroxyzine for anxiety. Latuda is an antipsychotic and mood stabilizer, and then I'm on another mood stabilizer, lamotrigine now, which lamotrigine seems to be working better than anything I've ever taken. I was on Depakote for years, and it never did anything for me. Most of the meds I was ever on never kept me out of the hospital. They never, like, every time it seemed like I was stable, because I'd be stable for like a year and then I'd be right back in the hospital. But pretty much every year I'd be in the hospital at some point during the year. So that's why it's been 12 hospitalizations in 10 years. So I forget what else I was going to say. So it's really been a hard journey, and I've been able to persevere through it. I've lost multiple jobs. I lost my dream job. I was working for a commercial real estate company as a marketing coordinator, and I was making pretty decent money, and then I lost it because I had a delusion of grandeur that I had this big company, and I didn't have a company. I was just starting to dabble in like actually starting a marketing company, but I didn't have employees like I thought and stuff, but I thought I had a company, so I told them, and then they laid me off, like, okay, go do your thing. And then at the same time, I spent my entire bank account on World Series tickets, which it was great. Like, it was so fun to be at World Series, but the aftermath of coming back, and I had lost my dream job and I had $0, I was super depressed. That's when my suicidal thoughts came, and like, I actually looked up what it would be like to overdose on my meds, because I was like, what's the point? Like, I'm done. So between having my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and having God, I didn't do anything, but it was really hard. So my mom and my boyfriend teamed up and saved me from being evicted, and I think my grandma too, and my boyfriend also helped me keep my car for a little while. My car eventually got repoed, and I had to go on disability. And normally disability takes forever to get on, and you have to get a lawyer and all this stuff. But because I had all my hospitalizations prior, and I had back problems too, where I can't really stand anymore, they approved me immediately. So I got on after like 6 months. So that was, again, grace from God, and it was a miracle, honestly. And so after that, I was on disability for 6 years and just muddling about. I don't have any kids, so I mean, it was really hard to go from being like an A+ student and being an overachiever in life and trying really hard to just achieve success and whatever that looks like to people, and trying to have good finances and stuff, and I had a really good credit score, and then just losing all of it. And I mean, I was about to go bankrupt, and then having medical bills on top of that from going in the hospital and everything. It was all at once. And so then, in 2018, my boyfriend married me, and so he's my husband now, and he's been so great through the rest of my hospitalizations. I mean, like I said, he was my boyfriend even through my other hospitalizations. So, because we've been together since 2015. And so we've been married for almost 5 years now, and we have a house. It's still really hard because I feel like I have no purpose sometimes, which is also part of the reason I wanted to start this video, just because I know God's calling me to share this, and I feel like that's my purpose now. Like, yeah, I mean, being a good wife is good and everything, but that's never really been what God was put on my heart to do. I mean, I always wanted to be a wife. Don't get that wrong, but that's not all I wanted to be. And I always wanted to help other people. That's always been on my heart. And so now that I've gone through all this, I've always known that if I tell everything that I've been through, that it could potentially help a ton of people. So, anyway, so, in 2022, I got another job, because you can get on the Ticket to Work program when you're on disability, which is like you can work for 9 months and be on full disability, and I guess you can make as much money as you want while being on full disability. So I was making good money, but then I had another episode and I lost my job again, and then I was right back into depression. And I mean, after every episode of being manic and euphoric and everything, like, I have gone into depression. It's never been as bad as it was after I lost my biggest job, my dream job, but um, I always have gone into depression after a manic episode. That's part of bipolar. I've always managed to pull myself out of it and not not be in bed for days, which is a miracle because I know a lot of people struggle with that, and I'm not knocking people who do struggle with that. But I've managed to get up and like pull myself out of it. But I did have, and I still sometimes have thoughts of like, why was I born and what's the point of this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I did all this stuff growing up. I went to college. Like, I got a bachelor's degree in technology, and I had dreams of working for Pixar and like all this stuff. I had goals. I had a life. I mean, and now it's like, okay, now you're just gonna sit at home all day and not have kids, and if you had kids, you could have another episode and potentially harm your kids or put them in danger's way, and so it's like, well, your dreams of being a mom are shot, and then people also don't talk about like not only are you struggling with mental illness, but then a lot of times you start struggling, like, I mean, obviously, I'm struggling with weight because, like, the antipsychotics that they put you on, or even depression meds that they can put you on, make you gain weight. And then, like, last year I had lost 20 pounds and I was all proud of myself. And then I landed in the hospital and they changed my meds. And then the doctor's like, well, that's going to make you gain weight. When I came back out of the hospital, and he's like, that's going to make you gain weight. And I was like, well, screw it then. Like, I just gave up. And so of course I gained the 20 pounds back. And I mean, now I'm finally like back to getting back on the my husband bought me and I also lost, because I lost my job, I lost my health coach, and because I had the health coach that was helping me lose the weight, and I was working out at the Y swimming, and so I lost a job, so I couldn't have my health coach. I couldn't go to the Y anymore because that's too much money. So my husband bought me I want to call it an electric bike or whatever, like a workout bike for the home. And so I finally started getting on that bike for the last 3 weeks. So I'm starting again this week for the 4th week in a row. And it's going really well. I started out at 20 minutes a day for 3 days a week. And I just increased it to 30 minutes last Friday. And I'm finally starting to not have to breathe as heavy. But like, this all goes hand in hand. Like, people don't really talk about all of the struggles that goes with mental illness. Like, so, it just, sometimes it feels like it's never gonna end. But God is so amazing. He's gotten my student loans to discharge. A $12,000 credit card got discharged. A $5,000 credit card got discharged. My car that got repoed, all that debt got discharged. I mean, the list goes on at how God's shown up and shown out. And then that ruins your credit, all those discharges. But God let me marry a man who's financially responsible and has good credit, so it doesn't really affect me. So really, I mean, my life is a miracle. And I just want to give hope to people that, like, even though you're struggling, like, God can get you through it if you just give it to him, lay it at his feet. The burden you're carrying, just give it to him. It's really hard, and sometimes you might doubt and you might think he's not there and he's not listening, and you might wish you were never born, and the darkness might get so bad that you don't know if you'll ever see the light of day. But you can get through this, I promise. Just don't give up, please. I lost a good friend to suicide. And I haven't gotten over it. And she seemed like she was holding it all together, and she was always the one that was checking up on me, and hardly anybody else does that. Like, nobody just checks up on other people. They're just so focused on themselves. And one thing that helps me is checking up on my friends, or even like just other people, like just even if I'm in the store, like just smiling at people or complimenting other people, like, oh, I really like your hat, or I really like your shoes, or like honest, genuine compliments. And it really puts a smile on people's face, and you don't know if that will change their whole attitude for the day. Like, just try to be a light to the world. We've got to join together. Everybody's dealing with this. The lies of the enemy is telling people, everybody, you're not enough. You're never gonna be anything. You're a terrible person. You're doing horrible things. You're a bad mom or whatever. You're like everything. You're a bad wife. Just all the lies. Like, they're just lies. You know that God says you're more precious to me than much fine gold. I mean, he says you're children. You're my children. And if we would just focus on him and his promises, we can get through this. This life is not easy, and it's getting worse day by day. But there's promise with God, with Jesus. And I'm sorry if you can't see that, but I won't hold it in. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm probably forgetting a lot of what I was going to say. I do have a blog. I did write a script for this video, but I didn't really follow it. So that script is going to go on my blog. It's called Finding Joy Through Suffering and .wordpress.com, and I'll put that in the comments. So I hope this helps someone, maybe you. I really hope you can see how genuine I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Sometimes I get burned, but honestly, I don't care. You can call me crazy, honestly. Like, I'm not crazy, but things I have done and said were crazy. Like, they were. But if you talk to me on a regular basis, like, I'm just me. And that wasn't me. Like, that was somebody else. Something took over me. I'm not saying I was possessed because I don't believe Christians can be possessed, but it wasn't me. So I love you all, and I pray that you can get through any hardships you're facing. And I pray that this touched you, and I hope that you'll have a brighter day.